My name is Francis, and if you're new to this channel, consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell because I post a new video every single day. My mindfulness group coaching program is now open, so if you want to be a part of the class, hit the link that's in the description box of this video because once the class is full, I'm not going to be taking on any more people. In this video, what I wanted to share with you is why affirmations and subliminals may not be working for you right now in your life. Because when people try to use affirmations and subliminals to manifest something in their life, a lot of the times it's not working for them because they haven't dealt with the unconscious programming that is still playing in the background of their minds without them even realizing it. Because if you want to manifest something in your life, and you want to create the reality that you want to live in and tap into the true potential of the creator that you are, that's going to go a lot deeper than simply just trying to program your mind with certain words. And that's very powerful, don't get me wrong. But if you haven't dealt with the unconscious programming that is happening in the background, then those affirmations may not work for you in the best way. Not to mention that anything you tell yourself is always going to be limiting to a certain extent to the truly infinite potential that you have as the being that you are. Because if you want to truly tap into the potential of who you are, you have to go a little bit deeper than just affirmations and belief systems, because every single belief system is going to be false to a certain extent, and it's going to be limiting to a certain extent. If you believe you can only make $5,000 a month, for example, that's always going to limit you from making $10,000 a month. If you believe you can make $10,000 a month, that's going to limit you from making $20,000 a month. If you believe you can only make $1 million a year, that's going to stop you from making $2 million a year. And so this list can go on, and you start to realize that every belief system is limiting to a certain extent. You say, I'm abundant, that blocks you from achieving infinite abundance, or like every belief system has a certain limitation. And so if you want to tap into the true potential, what you got to do is connect deeply to the present moment and find the truth of who you are beyond the belief systems that you tell about yourself. Because you telling yourself things is just one little piece of reality. This goes a lot deeper, because if you can start to become conscious of the truth of who you are, that goes a lot deeper than the thoughts that you tell about yourself. You're already going to be in a position to use affirmations more powerfully because you let go of the ego attachment that you had before, and you're not going to need those affirmations anymore because you actually are connected to infinite intelligence now. You have spaciousness between the ego and who you really are. So you can use those affirmations much more powerfully at that point, but you're not even going to need them anymore because you're in a flow state. You're connected to something deeper than any affirmation that you can even tell yourself. But the first step to all of this is becoming present to the moment and becoming conscious of your ego. Okay, so let me explain. Most people are controlled by their unconscious mind. So the unconscious part of their brain is actually controlling them. Like 10 or 20% of their decisions are conscious, and then 90% is unconscious. It's the autopilot response. It's happening on autopilot. It's happening automatically. That's the same reason why when something happens, you automatically respond without even thinking about it. Like you don't even have a chance to consciously make a decision, because there's that part of you that automatically responds based on the conditioning of the past experiences that you've had. So we're not actually seeing reality for the truth that it is, but we're seeing it through the filter of our unconscious mind, which some people call the ego. And the ego is nothing more than the unobserved mind. But the ego is nothing more than a word to represent being absorbed in your unconscious mind. And so that's why I can also explain it as the unobserved mind, because if you start practicing things like meditation, you can start to notice that unconscious part of your mind is controlling you, because you're going to be in observation of your thinking. Because when I started to meditate over 4 years ago, what I learned is that I can simply be the awareness of my thoughts and then not attach to them. Once I learned this, I realized that I am not my thoughts, and my thoughts are not who I am. I can simply be the awareness of my thoughts. I can simply be the witnessing presence of my thoughts. I can be the observer of my thoughts. I can be that thing that whatever you want to, the consciousness. I can call it consciousness. But there's something there that can actually observe those thought patterns in your mind. Then you'll realize that at a deeper level, those thought patterns are nothing more than conditioning that came from the past. And then at a deeper level, we identified with those thought patterns. And these thought patterns, even though we might not have conscious awareness of those thought patterns, doesn't mean that they're still not controlling our reality. Because if you don't have awareness of them, doesn't mean that they're still not happening in the background of your mind, controlling your reality. So I started to notice that yes, I started to become more conscious of my thoughts, but there was still that part of you that can daydream from the past experience that you've had. So you can use an affirmation, you can play subliminals while you're sleeping, try to program your mind, but then you still have this ego identity that you've built up with, like you've built this ego identity. There's that unconscious part of you that is still controlling your reality without you even realizing it, because you also don't realize that you're absorbed in your mind unconsciously. The attention and the focus and the awareness is almost absorbed in the thinking mind unconsciously. But then you can shift that awareness and become more present to the moment. When you can shift your awareness by becoming more present to the moment, a great way to, it starts with the breath. Like the breath is one way to do this. I'm gonna make more videos on how to become, more deeply connected to the moment and, get out of the ego. I have a couple of videos on that already, but I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth. Meditation is a great way to do this. What you'll find is that you can shift your awareness to the moment, simply be the observer of your thoughts, and then from that spaciousness that you create, you can stop identifying with those thoughts, and then in the awareness of those thoughts is also the letting go. And then as you let go, now you're in a position to use affirmations. Now you're in a position to actually use subliminals and truly program your mind, because you've let go of the unconscious part of your mind that was already programmed. Because what's going to happen is affirmations are useful, because what you're doing is you're reprogramming your mind, but you have to deal with the old programming first. If you want to write a new story for yourself, if you want to write a new belief system for yourself, if you want to change the reoccurring thoughts in your mind, you have to first become conscious of the old thoughts that were already playing in your mind. And this is where most people actually miss the key to law of attraction. Because if you just focus on creating your reality, if you just focus on creating, how do I become more abundant? How do I manifest? Instead of focusing on how to manifest, you should be focusing on how do I deprogram the blocks that are not allowing my manifestation to naturally happen and unfold, so that my dominant thought processes can be on the abundance mindset, what I truly want to manifest, and then not have 80 to 90% contradictory thoughts going against what I want to manifest, happening unconsciously in the background. Because most people have contradictory thoughts that are completely going against their manifestation, and they don't even know it. People don't even realize that they have contradictory thought patterns and feelings and emotions that are going against their manifestation. Because here's the thing, the number one thing that my mentor taught me is that we either live into our vision or we live into our fear. And one of these two things can be more powerful. And if the fear is controlling your life, but you still have that vision, but the fear is stronger than the vision, then that fear is going to control your life. That's reality. We can either, on a moment-to-moment basis, we can either live into our vision or we can live into our fears. And so if you're trying to live into your vision 20% by using affirmations, but then 80% the unconscious programming is still controlling you, and your ego is always connected to fear. The ego has nothing to do with following your heart. Following your heart is being connected deeply to the moment. Following your intuition that you've developed by noticing the truth of who you are at a deeper level, that is where you can truly manifest, because you're not blocked by the unconscious programming, which is connected to fear and lack and survival. You cannot manifest your true potential if you are attached to a survival mindset. So number one key to make affirmations work is actually to become present to the moment, develop awareness, and then let go of the unconscious programming that you were attached to, realize who you are at a deeper level. You'll realize that you don't even need affirmations anymore. You can just be connected to the moment, focus on the vision, let it go, allow the flow state of your life to take over, allow things to unfold naturally, and you can use affirmations as a bonus to, make your ego a little bit stronger. Like, I'm confident, I'm abundant, but you're only growing your ego there. You're only growing the surface level, but you want to connect to the deeper level of who you actually are that transcends the ego and the limitations of thoughts that we place on who we are as infinite creative beings. Okay? Every single belief system is limiting to a certain extent. So you want to tap into the true potential of who you are by becoming very present to the moment and raising your level of consciousness and awareness and presence. So that's all I have for you today. If you like this kind of content, then hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Once again, my group coaching program is now open. So if you want to be a part of the class, hit the link that's in the description box of this video, because once the class is full, I'm not going to be taking on any more people. Hit that like button if you got some value from this content. That's all I have for you today. Have yourself a great day and see you in the next video.